the better part of a century, America has been waging a war on drugs. The war on drugs has accomplished very little in the way of stopping drug use, and it is a war that we are still fighting. So everyone may know more about the war on drugs. Today, I will tell you about the history, the consequences, and the other alternatives to the war on drugs. To fully understand something, you must first know its history. The U.S. first saw drugs in the 1800s, with opium, cocaine, morphine, and heroin being prescribed by doctors. By the end of the 19th century, drug use had reached an all-time high. The first federal drug policy in 1914 was the Harrison Narcotics Act, and drugs continued to gain popularity. In 1971, during the Nixon administration, the term war on drugs was coined. Nixon stated, "America's public enemy number one in the U.S. is drug abuse." In the 80s, Nancy Reagan started the Just Say No campaign, and LA Police Chief Daryl Gates started the DARE program, and he stated all casual drug users should be taken out and shot. As you know, we are still fighting this war. Since then, many laws have changed in the drug war, but little has curtailed the distribution and use of drugs. Now that you know a little bit about the history, we're going to talk about the consequences. The consequences of the drug war are far-reaching, affecting our economy, our safety, and our citizens' livelihood. America spends over $40 billion in prohibition, prosecution, and incarceration. According to Ethan Nadelman, a drug war activist who worked for the State Department, says that the global market is estimated at $300 billion a year. The safety of our streets for this drug war is left to our federal and local officers. And while they do a great job, our streets are still troubled with gangs, shootings, and deaths from this war. As of 2014, 98,554 people were in federal prison for drug offenses. This is 3 times more than any other offense, with immigration coming in at 20,000 people. According to the Assistant Secretary for Planning and Evaluation, these inmates get social problems such as hypervigilance, interpersonal distrust, alienation, social withdrawal, isolation, and when released, post-traumatic stress reactions. Now that we know some of the consequences, we're going to talk about some of the other alternatives to the drug war. Other countries around the world have started ending their drug war with many positive results. In Portugal, in 2001, they decriminalized all drugs, when 1% of their population was addicted to heroin, and they had the highest HIV infections in the entire European Union. Since then, drug-related crime has dropped from 44% to 21%. Drug use is down among all ages. HIV infections are down 90%, and people are getting drug treatment instead of drug sentences. Now, we all know about the marijuana legalization within the United States, with states such as Washington, California, and Colorado. In Colorado, they have seen an 84% drop in possession arrests, and they're using $8 million tax revenue for youth programs, education, mental health, and community projects. In Denver alone, they have created 280 jobs and have a $30 million economic output just from 2 dispensaries. Through this informative speech, you have learned about the history of the drug war, the consequences of that war, and the alternatives to this war. The war on drugs has spanned over many decades and accomplished very little in the way of stopping drug use, but we are still fighting this war today. From the beginning of time all the way to modern day society, people are drawn to use drugs or substances that alter their consciousness. And although not everyone agrees, it is clear it will continue to happen.